Hi folks, welcome to my video on this brand new release, the 30th anniversary edition of Yes's 14th studio album, Talk. Today we'll be doing an unboxing of not only the single disc Digipack version, but also the 4-disc Deluxe edition. Both are released through the Spirit of Unicorn music label. Talk was the third and final album from what is often referred to as the 90125 or Yes West version of the band. The lineup, of course, included John Anderson, Chris Squire, Alan White, Tony Kaye, and Trevor Rabin. They were responsible, of course, for the iconic 90125, but also the follow-up Big Generator. Following the 1991 Union album and the subsequent tour that carried on into 1992, uncertainty once again surrounded the lineup of the band. Hopes for a second Union album were very quickly dashed when both Steve Howe and Bill Bruford departed. However, for a time there was speculation that Rick Wakeman might actually remain with the band. This was seemingly confirmed in an advertisement for Victory Music, their label at the time, inside of the tour program for Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Black Moon Tour. However, Wakeman would eventually exit over managerial issues, and the 5-member band, the 90125 lineup, would continue on to make this album. Originally released in March of 1994, the Talk album suffered from a lack of promotion when their record label folded shortly after its release. However, the band did go on to perform an extensive 77-date tour of the US, Canada, South America, and Japan. I was incredibly fortunate to see the band on this tour, my first ever Yes concert, at Canada's Wonderland, the Kingswood Music Theatre, just north of Toronto. Talk has often been referred to as the Great Lost Yes album, as it has been out of print many times in the last 3 decades. In many ways, Talk etched out a singular position in Yes history, one of the few that does not feature Roger Dean's iconic Yes logo. In its place was this brand new logo created by renowned artist Peter Max. And Talk was also one of the very first albums to be recorded entirely digitally. The cornerstone of the Talk album, Endless Dream, was the only epic-length track from the 90125 lineup, clocking in at about 16 minutes in length. For me, Endless Dream threads the needle between the progressive legacy of the 1970s lineups and the 1980s commercial approach of the Yes West version of the band. It's truly a piece of music that I never tire of listening to. Another song, Walls, is a personal favorite of mine. It's a curiosity, given that it features a co-write between Trevor Rabin and Supertramp's lead singer Roger Hodgson. Hodgson, depending on who you believe, was at one time seriously considered for Yes's lead singer role during a period when John Anderson was estranged from the band. However, Hodgson politely and perhaps wisely declined the offer. I was fortunate to meet Roger a number of years ago at a meet and greet after one of his solo shows, and I told him how much I enjoyed the song Walls. He was pleasantly surprised that anyone actually remembered his involvement. So sit back and relax as I take you through the unboxing of not only the Digipack, but also the deluxe edition of this 30th anniversary edition of Yes's Talk album. Thanks for joining me. It's great to see you all. Okay, here we go, taking a closer look at these 2 new packages from Spirit of Unicorn Music. First up is the 1-disc Digipack version of Talk, and then we will look at the 4-disc Deluxe edition. So we will jump right in, putting the Deluxe edition aside, and start by having a closer look at the Digipack. Let's get this unwrapped. And of course, it wouldn't be a proper unboxing without having a close look at the spine. And then we'll flip it over and have a look at the back of the package. And then upon opening, we will see the last names of the group's lineup, which of course is the Yes West version of the band, along with the CD. As mentioned in the lead-in to the unboxing, this is the new logo from artist Peter Max. And we'll pop out the CD to have a closer look at the label. And of course, found inside the sleeve of the inside cover is the set of liner notes. These brand new liner notes, included in all versions of the 30th anniversary edition of Talk, are from Jerry Ewing, renowned British rock journalist and editor of Prog Magazine. And trust me, these notes are jam-packed with details on the making of the album. A highlight is new interview material from John Anderson and Trevor Rabin discussing the creative process behind writing the album. And at the very end, the credits page reminds us that the CD, indeed the entire deluxe package as well, was remastered by Andy Pierce. So we'll tuck these liner notes back into the sleeve, and that's the Digipack edition. So that brings us to the deluxe edition, with the 4 discs included in a lovely hard cardboard case. I've had several different box sets from Spirit of Unicorn Music over the years, and I can attest to the fact that they put a lot of time and care into their products. Once more, here's the spine and the back of the box set, and this lists the entire contents of the 4 discs included. First up is the original remastered album, then a disc of instrumentals, single edits, and demos. That's followed by a 2-disc live show from 1994, the tour to support the album. In the sleeve notes, Rabin himself laments the fact that there was never a proper live album for this tour, given that he felt the band were playing better than they ever had. The inner case contains the sleeve notes as well as the 4 discs, each in their own separate case. The set of sleeve notes is virtually identical to the one found in the Digipack. In addition to the creative process behind Rabin and Anderson writing the 7-track album, the sleeve notes also tell the history of how the Union lineup of 1990 to 1991 evolved back into the Yes West lineup for the Talk album in 1994. They also chronicle the failed promotion for the album, which eventually led to the disbanding of the group once again. And as mentioned, the credit for the liner notes is to Jerry Ewing of Prog Magazine. And once more, the entire contents of all 4 discs. Next up is the album itself, and we'll take a look around the sleeve. As we open it up, we will pop out the disc to have a closer look at the label. And the second disc, which has a slightly altered logo from Peter Max, is called Talk Versions. In this set, once again, we have the instrumentals, single edits, and demos. But just to be thorough, we'll pull out the disc, have a look at the label as well. And from there we move on to the 2-disc live recording from the Talk Tour. This is from Canandaigua, New York, July 19th, 1994, again with a slightly different color scheme for the Peter Max logo. I believe this show was from the Finger Lakes Performing Arts Center in Canandaigua. Here's the label. Again, this is disc 1 of the 2-disc live show. And here's the second disc from the Canandaigua show. And finally, here's the last disc in the set. There's your label. And now we'll return all 4 discs and the sleeve notes back into the inner cardboard case. And then we'll return them all into the outer shell. And there you have it, folks. The single disc Digipack and the 4-disc deluxe edition of the 30th anniversary remastered edition of Yes's 14th studio album Talk from 1994. Just a reminder that purchase links can be found in the description for the video. Thanks for following along, and take care.